We always say it's calories in, calories out at the end of the day that decides if you lose weight. But really, Coach Greg, and today we answer the question, should you be eating fewer calories on your days off? This is an extremely popular question of which I'm going to answer and explain what happens when you eat fewer calories, higher calories, what happens to the body on your days off versus days you're exercising, what happens to your muscle glycogen, and body fat stores. So if you want to know how many calories you need to eat on your days off, this is the video for you. The average person doesn't train every single day, probably train between 3 and 6 days a week. And as you know, you're burning calories when you're in the gym, you're burning calories when you do cardio. So should you in fact be eating less on days you don't work out than days that you do work out? So let's take an example of someone eating 2,700 calories a day. If you're eating 2,700 calories a day, does that mean you eat 2,700 calories a day? No. You're probably eating somewhere between 2,400 and 3,000. Even if you're tracking in your macros, typing in MyFitnessPal, every single thing you eat, it's still not accurate. There's going to be some variance. But let's assume that you are. Let's assume you're eating exactly 2,700 calories a day. If you're slowly losing weight on 2,700 calories a day, and you're in a deficit on those days when you exercise, what happens when you don't exercise? If 2,700 calories is a deficit for you, then on your days off, 2,700 calories might actually be maintenance. If it's maintenance, nothing happens. You don't gain weight, you don't lose weight. The scale weight might go up, but it's water and glycogen, but you're not actually increasing body fat. So it's fine, it's perfect. It's almost like a diet break, as Jeff Nippard wants you to do. If you're eating 2,700 calories a day and 2 days of the week you have off, those 2 days you might be at maintenance. Is that bad? No, there's nothing wrong with that at all. You don't need to be in a deficit every single day of a diet. You're going to have easy diet days and hard diet days. Some days on a diet, I'm ravenous. I'm hungry no matter what. On those days, I'm going to eat more. Other days, not that hungry. So if I'm eating 2,700 calories on my diet, some days I might only eat 2,400. Those are the days I'm not very hungry. I just don't need the extra calories. So the food options that I'm choosing have fewer calories. It might be 2,400. Other days I'm starving. Even if I'm expending the same amount of energy, I haven't changed anything. Some days I'm just hungrier than others. Those days I might eat 3,000. It's kind of like intuitive eating, but it's not really, because you're not just eating everything in sight. You can't just have 5,000 calories. I want to intuitively eat a 2-liter ice cream. Doesn't work. But if you're starving and have no energy, perfectly okay to eat above maintenance or at maintenance a couple days a week. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's say you're very active. You're extremely active. You burn off 1,000 calories a day through cardio. You're going for 1 or 2 hour bike rides. You're training harder than last time. You're an animal and you sit around in the gym and you're on a 2,700 calorie diet. Now you eat 2,700, but you didn't burn off any calories and you're in a surplus of 500 calories. What happens in this case is you're going to store glycogen. You're not going to get fat. None of those calories are going to be stored as fat. If you're on a diet and eating below maintenance, your glycogen stores are very low. So on days when you don't work out, what happens is your muscle glycogen replenishes. Doesn't turn to fat. The extra calories are turning to glycogen. When you eat in a surplus, what happens is your liver glycogen stores become full. First fills up in the liver. After that, muscle glycogen stores go on the rise. Keep rising until they're full. Then when muscle glycogen stores are full, you then store adipose tissue or body fat. That's how it works. So if you're on a diet, you're eating below maintenance, and you take a day off and you keep eating the same amount of calories, you're not going to get fat. You're not going to store any fat. You're simply going to replenish glycogen stores. Is that a bad thing? No, it's actually going to help you have more energy the day after. You're going to feel better. So use this day off rather than to say, oh, I need to starve myself even more. I can't have 2,700. I'm going to eat 2,000 calories today because I didn't work out. Rather than doing that, just keep eating the same. Eat the same amount of calories and your glycogen stores will replenish. Kind of like having a diet break without being a diet break. It's kind of like having a cheat meal or refeed meal without having a cheat meal or refeed meal. It only becomes a problem if you continue to eat in a surplus. Your cheat meal becomes a cheat day. Your cheat day becomes a cheat weekend. The weekend turns into week, month, year. Then you continuously gain body fat. So it's never a problem to go off the diet once, a little bit, little surplus, because you're not storing body fat. You're storing glycogen. Then the next day, when you continue to eat your 2,700 calories, you're again in a deficit. Muscle glycogen stores are going to go down, and with it, you're going to be dropping body fat. So don't think of it as every single day you need to lose fat. Think of it as on a weekly, monthly, yearly schedule. Out of the 7 days in the week, if 4 of those days are in a deficit and 3 are in a surplus, you're losing weight. You don't need to lose weight every single day. We always say it's calories in, calories out at the end of the day that decides if you lose weight. But really, it's at the end of the week, month, year. At the end of the year, were you in a deficit or not? If you were, you lost weight. If you're in a surplus, you gain weight. So don't think it has to be perfect every single day. The perfect diet is the diet you can maintain for the rest of your life. It doesn't have to be perfect every single day. Perfect diet is not the one that you're in a deficit every day. It's the one that you can maintain. And even on any given day, some parts of the day you're in a surplus, some are in a deficit. So on a typical Monday morning, you get up and eat a big breakfast. You might be in a surplus and you're gaining body fat after breakfast. But then come lunch and supper, you don't eat as much and you're active. You're once again in a deficit and you lose weight. It's not I'm always losing weight or I'm always gaining weight. It can fluctuate hour to hour, minute to minute, every single day. Had a client, Harmy, does 170 to 200 kilometer bike rides on the weekend. About 9 hours on the bike. Need to know how to eat. I'm like, you can pretty much eat every single thing you want. You can eat the most massive breakfast you ever had and stop and eat every time you want to on the bike ride. And bike riders typically aren't that hungry during a ride. You're on a 9-hour bike ride. People aren't typically stopping for 2 hours to go get lunch. You're riding a bike. You stop and have a quick snack. By the end of the bike ride, you may or may not even be hungry. You might be so exhausted you're not hungry. When I'm doing extra long rides, especially at higher intensities, I'm not even hungry for hours after the ride. But guess what? Your body's smart. Eventually gonna make you hungry. So the day after, you might be ravenous, so hungry. You burn off 6,000 calories on your Sunday bike ride, and Monday comes along and you can't stop eating. Why do you think that's the case? It's because your body recognizes you are in such a severe deficit, it's trying to regain some of the weight back. It is normal to then eat more. But what matters is, at the end of the week, what did you do? You could have had 2,000 calories every day and 6,000 on one day. It doesn't matter. It balances out. How much did you eat all week versus how much did you expend all week? If you expend more in the week than you took in, you're going to lose weight, so don't worry about what happens on any one given day. So should you eat fewer calories on your day off? It depends. If you want to lose weight every single day, then yes, you should eat less. But if your goal is to just lose weight and keep it off, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter how it makes you feel.
The slower you lose the weight, the greater chance you're going to keep it off. So what I say is keep eating approximately the same calories every day. If you're not hungry, just eat a little bit less. If you are hungry, eat a little bit more. And how do you do that? Well, with my coaching, I give optional snacks. If you're not hungry, why are you eating the optional snack? It's optional. Doesn't mean you need to eat it, But if you are hungry, yeah, I'm feeling extra hungry today. Have the popcorn. Have that protein bar, that Greek yogurt and strawberries. Eat the food. You're hungry, eat the food. That's what it's for. An optional snack isn't to say, oh, if you eat this, it means you're weak. It's there for a reason. I put it in the plans for a reason, because you need it. Coach Greg, I do this every day. If I need an optional snack, I eat it. If I don't take it. Whether you're not on a diet or on a diet, the optional snack is there for a reason. It's so that you can give your body the nutrition it needs when it needs it. No coach can give you the perfect plan. Eat 2,450 calories a day. 4 meals every 4.3 hours. It doesn't work. Even if you do the same amount of activity every day, some days you're going to be hungrier than others. So what I suggest, eat an optional snack on days that you need it, and days that you don't eat the optional snack, and try to keep calories roughly the same every day. Hopefully that makes sense. Ending it here. GregDoucette.com for coaching. Greg Doucette, IP Pro. The bloops are over there. Hire me for coaching. Me and the team will give you the best plan possible. If you can't afford it, get the freaking cookbooks or training books. Follow me on the gram and the talk, and subscribe and click the bell button. And until next time, I am out.